Hello everyone and welcome. This is Angelina and I would like to welcome you and thank you for joining us here again today for the Smada World Opportunity Webinar offered by Next Level Africa. We have quite a bit of information today regarding the exchanges and the C-Wallet. We will also be including a general overview of where we're at with NLA and the upgrades and renewals. As usual, we will be having the Q&A at the end where you're welcome to ask questions covering all things Smada related. And again, I'm just going to quickly remind you to please hold all of your questions and comments until that time. And also just a quick note, when we get to the end of the webinar and Noel hands the mic back over to me to close up, please don't everyone just drop off with that, because there may be something that I need to remind you or update you on, and you'll miss it if you drop off right away. So just with that, I'd like to thank everyone again for joining us from all over the world, because we know that many of you are coming in late, like late in your day or very early, and we appreciate that. So with that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our presenter for today, Mr. Noel Adams, the founder of Next Level Africa and our CEO and leader of the Smada team. Welcome, Noel.
Once again, welcome and thank you very much, Angelina, for that intro, and I'll get down to it. I'm not going to do a presentation as such today. I'm going to be doing a bit of talking so that we can just get through some of the things that we need to do. Firstly, I'll go over the wallets and the exchange. Now, it's in a couple of parts here. Firstly, we received notification that our programmer has completed the wallet. He sent us this note at 3 o'clock in the morning his time, so he worked quite late on it. But there is a slight issue before we'll be putting this notice out there, because we want to include the new NLA wallet into the blockchain. Now, if we put it on the blockchain whilst we still have old wallets, or a lot of old wallets still running, it'll start forking, and they don't want that to happen, obviously. So notification will go up on Next Level Africa and onto CX. We'll be sending emails out. We'll put it through the Skype rooms, and for those of you who have gone into the Web Talk program, we'll be putting it right through. This is what this is all about. We'll be putting it right through there as well, because we actually can advertise what we're doing, and so we'll be encouraging members to pick the post up and just keep reposting it, because if we get a bit of interest from that group, it's been worth it. So that's really what the Web Talk's all about, interacting with their database. They're talking about having I think they've got close to 1.5 million in there now, so interacting with a lot of those things we're doing will be quite good. Which obviously that means that the wallets will then be sent out to our investor group, and they will engage in doing that and be guided through what they need to do, and everything will be talking to each other, the wallets to the exchange and to NLA, so everything will be linked in. NLA was put on the priority to do NLA first. Tomorrow, Chingaling should be completed, and that will be something Global Exchange will do that, so we'll get the download from Global Exchange, and that'll be linked in, so more information will come from that. So that's where we are with the wallet. So I'll be receiving the file coming through, and I will be instructing our technical team to load it up onto NLA, onto CEX, and we will put a note up there of the importance of getting the wallets downloaded and everyone upgrading to the new wallet. so that when we hit the blockchain, we hit there running. Secondly, that finally, I've just received, look, in the last half an hour, that's how things are happening there. They're happening, I mean, during this webinar, some things could happen, although it's a different timing in different parts of the world for things to happen, but nevertheless, they could do. What actually happens when we get the lines, we then have to go to the bank to release the balances for the line, and line 7, just rounding it off, has got over 2,000 entries in that. And so, because the coin balance must balance between what we hold in Next Level Africa, in the exchanges, in our wallets, it really has to balance out there. So it's something that is controlled by the bank out there. So because technically, until we put the lines back in, that the members aren't there, so it wouldn't balance. So we have to do that. So all the balances have been finally supplied to us by the bank. And I do have the line 7, so we'll be going over that and making sure that some of the issues that we had with line 6 are rectified, so that so we don't have any problems there with it, and all the updates will be completed, and so we are looking at having that well on its way early next week. So I'll have that in place. Okay, just to cover another one here, we've got BitClub Network, BCN. And look, when we first started with BitClub Network, it was back in December, and Bitcoin at that point had reached $20,000 a coin. And all the things we were reading, hello, it's going to be up to $100,000 a coin, and everyone better get ready. It started hitting mainstream. We were seeing it in our news bulletins here in Australia. I'm sure it was globally. More and more people talking about it, becoming a topic out there, because some younger people who could see the technology, I mean, they live on the internet, were becoming millionaires, more millionaires amongst younger people than any other time in the history of the world. And of course the mining, well, with BitClub Network, just some things changing there, and I don't have to remind everybody that the Bitcoin has gone down from 20,000. Last I looked, it was in the low 6s when we looked at it out there. So it's a changed environment with what we're dealing with there, and of course mining has become terrible, because the mining return is about 10% of when we started, or maybe 12 or 13%, but it's certainly a very low percentage. Now, whilst we're not concerned about it, because I mean the experts talking about Bitcoin and things seem to think it's going to turn around and come back in. It's had its little crash before and come back. So it's not quite the timing. We didn't want to be bringing our members into something that we felt right now, because BitClub Network are having some challenges getting their site completed, so we let them work on that, and even now some of the things are just not quite right with it, and they've announced, if anyone follows their updates, they've announced that they've got some new product coming along there, so I don't know what that is, but once again we will revisit that when we feel it's time. But anyone in there now, there's no issue. You are actually receiving mining shares, so but we don't feel it's what we want to promote to our database yet, because the ones that have been in there reap a bit of the benefit, but we don't know where it's going. They've actually stopped paying out on some of the GPU mining. They had this because it was costing them money running the mining machines, and the mining machines have a life of about 5 years. So they decided to turn them off until it becomes a bit more lucrative, rather than have the machines wear out. So anyone that's interested, keep an eye on their updates, and look, we're certainly keeping an eye on it ourselves, watching it, and this gives us an opportunity to be able to talk to them, some of the leaders in there as well, because after all, they're in the crypto world, and we certainly are. So that's an area out there and that was always going to be the case. I mean, there are a group of crypto people out there, and if they're seeing the Bitcoin devaluing and popping up and down, then from that it's going to be an area that we can talk to them. We are now, just have them on the back burner, and that when it's ready we'll certainly talk to them as well. So that's all. So things that are out of our control with other alliances that we decide to take on, they are out of our control, and I don't think we have to explain what's happened with Bitcoin out there. I mean, we don't suffer the same problem with a coin value. Once we get trading there, our coin will go ahead in leaps and bounds. The other alliance that we will have very shortly, they're almost completion on that, and once again they're tied up like we are with their programming people. That's UPB. But I do speak with David Emby on a regular basis, and they are getting extremely close to getting UPB running out there, and it's only going to help when our system goes, because David will have additional funds that he can put on additional programmers. Sometimes you can get a little bit locked up with the I'll just put the text chat on hold, because what happens, anyone putting posts in there now would just simply get lost when we go back to it. It's too much. We've got to start scrolling back through. So hold any comments or any questions until the end of it. Thank you. Yeah, so UPB should be another one, and as I mentioned before, they're going to be using the NLA coin, which gives us another opening for the coin out there, and that should be something we get a few more bits of information on their update and the status of where they're at over the during next week. Okay, the next one would be, for those of you that have joined the web talk, I just want to go over what is going on with Web Talk and the reason we are there. We're looking at a social media platform where we can interact and put a lot of our posts, not only for our members, but for the millions of members that are going to be in this platform. And when we start announcing their wallets out there, that we've got our new wallets and what's happening, we'll be putting a post into Web Talk. And what we encourage the members in there to do is pick up that post once or twice a day if you want, if you're in there, and repost it so that we've got it in the face of the Web Talk group. And that's giving us exposure and free advertising to do that out there. And for those of you who have seen in there that there's been a post, so I apologise there. I've just received a notice in from our developer. He's still up now. It's midnight where he is, but I just want to tell him that I'm on the webinar. Okay, sorry about that. It's just I do leave this open so that he's apologised to me. That's right, and so that I can inform you as soon as I get it if it's of any value. So, and what is actually happening, and this is what that call was, or the text was all about there. We are explaining to the bank about our magazine and what we're going to be doing with the magazine, and they're rather interested on what's going on with the magazine, so we're rather happy with that. Anyway, look, sorry about that interruption there. I've got my eyes and ears going all over the place, and so I was talking about WebTalk. The owner of WebTalk, the CEO, put a post out there that they are struggling a bit because look, they've raised quite a bit of money, and in raising the money, they've probably given away some of the company. So they indicated that they needed to get up to speed and have 100 on the staff. They've got 19 at the moment. So they're wanting to have them raise some money. So that opened the door up for me to eventually talk to him, because who knows what we can do. We can throw something on the table for them there and see where they're at. But nevertheless, it's just opened up the door, and that's why getting the NLA in there in numbers so that they can see that we are a large group. There wouldn't be too many groups in there as together as we are, because we can promote the NLA throughout, and we all know that because of the single link that not many MLMs have that we can all support each other in there, and in doing that we'll have quite a bit of interest in what we're doing. So that's really behind the thought with doing the WebTalk, is getting into a large group where we can market in there, because we certainly have to look at every area that we can do it. And one of the things I do want to apologise about, and this is how life is out there, I probably get 2 or 3 requests and links to various programs, sometimes daily, certainly weekly. And I don't always get a chance to look at them, and I don't want to have the NLA Smada group being led around like a bull with a ring in its nose out there, but that we jump from one to another. I certainly don't want to be doing that. I try to analyse just exactly what we have to see whether it is. And look, I'm human. I make mistakes out there, and I mean, because they don't always tell you things out there before we get started, and we discover them a bit later on. It all sounds rosy when someone's presenting something to you. So we try to have a look, but during the last week I've had some things put on the desk there that I really have to go over them, and it's getting to a point where I want to be able to mention them to the NLA members. So that's really been one of them. It's come over the last couple of weeks with WebTalk, and I just felt that it was worth, because it is free. It is free, and when they get going with it, they're going to be sharing advertising revenue. So people out there that have their links and their downlines in the system, they will be able to share advertising revenue from those members going in to simply do what they normally do in a social media site, posting and reading some of the feeds in there. So that's how it works. I mean, unlike Facebook run a bit of a master slave out there, where they are generating, who knows, 100 billion a year in revenue, and owning the content that we post out there and really not paying me for it. So their value of $300 or $400 billion comes from the fact that they've got members out there, and take those members away and their value is zero. So it's just an area that we want to make sure that we try to look at the opportunities out there without really going overboard with just too many things out there. And I, as I said, I do want to apologise, but there's been some things that have come up that I really feel I have to mention to the members. Some of you may remember that I spoke about talking to a group called Frega nearly 12 months ago now. And what Frega are, look, there are many things. They're a banking program. It's like PayPal on steroids, and so they're developing that. They've got a lot of it running there now, and more going into it. They are a shopping loyalty rewards program where you are linked into retailers all over the world. They have signed up eBay, Amazon, and some major shopping centres and stores and chain stores throughout the world, with more coming on. People like Unilever and IBM. So it's really starting to build momentum. Now, I have been for the last week virtually every day in talks with the owner of Frega, and some of the things they've got coming along are quite spectacular. They expect to have 100 million members over the next couple of years, and people are earning money now. Now, this is a free program to join. It's a loyalty program to join. I really don't want to go into too much detail about it now because it's too involved, but it is totally free. And once again, because I'm talking with the owner of Frega, and we do talk quite regular now, it's good for me when I get to meet new people. I'm able to tell all the stale jokes all over again and get a laugh. I think it's just being nice laughing, but it is refreshing to be able to tell the same old jokes to a new set of ears. But anyway, we are getting on quite well, and we have spoken about some sort of joint venture out there so we can both benefit, our members can benefit, because bearing in mind I won't sell the NLA members to something that I feel that we can't have a little bit of input into what's going on there, and that's important to me that everyone understands. So this is just aligning ourselves with another large group because they're building a social media platform, and it's certainly worth having a look at. So what we will do, and we will do this at some point, we'll list the support at Smada.world, because what we'd like to do is anybody that's interested in a link for the Frega network out there, and instantly you sign up, you're, without paying 1 cent, you're in the marketplace for loyalty rewards. I'm getting, look, I've only been involved with it, actually signed up into it in the last 6 days. But in the last 6 days, we're getting, because it's all about being in an ecosystem, and I'll tell you now, the NLA ecosystem, having our members tightly packed into that system is going to be a rewarding experience, because if you can appreciate this, that the NLA team, once they start selling coins through the exchange, right now the NLA coin, there's approximately over $1 billion worth out there that the members have, So once members start showing that, and then possibly wanting to do a bit of purchasing through places like eBay and Amazon, you can rest assured that there's going to be quite a bit of loyalty bonus that comes back into that group that are tightly packed into our ecosystem. That's why we want to try and run it tight, so that members don't finish up outside the ecosystem, because there's a lot more money for members to be made staying within the ecosystem. It's a degree of six levels of separation. So once it goes past the 6 levels, you're out of that particular ecosystem and in your own ecosystem. So we want to make sure that members stay tightly packed in there. So once again, that I'll ask Angelina at some point just to post that support at smada.world out there, and that way, if anyone's interested in a link, we will send you a link out there. I'm trying to work out to give people, the absolute best information we can give them out there, and but the retailers, when they see something like this, imagine going into a retail store, just a takeaway food store, and you pay $30 for your takeaway food, and you actually receive $30 in tokens from the company. So the person buying from that store gets reimbursed by the tokens, which can be traded. They'll go up in value. So the retention of business to that retail store is quite extensive. And as most of you are well aware, my background is retailing. I've looked at every loyalty program that's ever been put out there, and we all know about the flybys and all that sort of stuff that happens. So it's just a matter of understanding just what it is. They've been around for a long time, loyalty programs, so we've got no fear of them. And in this one, Frega now have companies going to them to ask them about wanting to become involved with it. So it's perfect timing, and we would certainly suggest that you have a look, because look, we see it all over the place with flybys and things out there, and so loyalty programs are something that I think most shoppers like to be involved with them, even from the local butcher shop, if you continue to purchase from the shop, or even coffee shops, if you tend a cup of coffee, you get the 11th one free as a loyalty thing. So there's loyalty happening all over the place out there on a regular basis. So we'll go into more about that. That's why I'm not doing a presentation on anything at the moment, because I have got too much. And one of the ones I've saved to last, and I'll open it up after this, hand it back to Angelina to compile any Q&A that might happen from it. And I can't go into major detail on this because I'm still in negotiation, but they've approved it, and they came to me in the first place, but I have asked them how I want to do it. And what I'm talking about is the bank, and the bank, I mean HSBC Bank. And we have an opportunity here to build something special. The amount of funds that they've made available to me to build this, and ongoing funds, is absolutely mind-blowing. I feel like I wanted to tell you, but I know that there's no one on this call, and if it's recorded and people listen to it, they will not believe what I have out there. So it's going to attract a lot of attention from people like Frega, WebTalk, and many other programs and businesses that want to do business with us, because we do have the backing of a very large banking group. And where the money comes from that goes into our asset account comes from the sale of Jingling coins through the humanitarian investments, comes back in, and it goes into our NLA asset account, and that represents, they're putting $20 billion in there, if you do remember, and then from that we then have a nice little account with $20 billion and growing as people want to purchase our coins, and the 3.27 billion in coin sale is something that will also add to our asset account and will receive a lot of attention. But there's a possibility that we will still be receiving the ongoing profits from the humanitarian group in the way of a cash advance that we can actually give back to the members. And just to give you an idea, that I'm looking at building a program that when you join, you'll be paid a regular amount each month, and when you introduce people into the system, you'll be also paid for those people that come in. I want to run it down. I'm looking to do it between 6 and 9 levels down, so we'll just see. I'm still in the early stages of building it and putting the proposal to the bank on how I want to do it, and but nevertheless they've approved it in principle on being able to do something out there. So it's just a matter of organising the way in which we do it. And this program, as a social media program, there won't be anything that can touch this, because of the amount of money that we'll have on a regular basis to look after our members. And of course, as we build up numbers from the global audience, we'll attract our advertisers, much the same as Facebook, only we'll be handing that back over to our members, not holding it out there. So we have some very good technical people that want to go ahead with doing that. So look, I won't, the reason I won't talk any more about it is because I can't really release the figure. And as you all know, in the past there, the banks consider the best way to get information out there is to telephone, telegraph and tell no. So I really want to hold this back. I'll be able to release it probably next week on what we're doing. We'll do a full press release on the and what we intend to build, but it'll be also, we'll have e-commerce, so we'll be bringing a lot of retailers into it, where you'll be able to use your coin purchasing through our retail network, and a full social media group that we believe will take on the likes of Facebook, because we certainly have the backing to do it. Anyway, look, I'm going to end it on that and hand it back to Angelina. And I do want to thank everyone for turning up. You may need to absorb what I've just said, but certainly becoming involved in some of these things. Now, there's no requirement that you must do it, but if we're going to have any impression on the likes of Frigga and what they're doing out there, it's by our numbers coming into it, because we do have an extremely good administration group that are more than happy to work in. And look, I have to take my hat off to them, because sometimes it's me that lights the fire to get things going, and they're the ones that have got to make sure it's under control. So I do appreciate that, and I do get a bit excited because I want this thing to go. But the wallets and the exchange are extremely close now, and I'm just hoping because we will have the wallets certainly within the next 6 hours, and I'll be getting my team to load the wallets up onto the exchange. I'll see if we can get them out a bit faster to members as well, because it's, you know, we're all waiting for them to wake up in South Africa as well and get started, but they're probably another 6 hours from now, so it should be all right. All right, look, I'm handing this back over to Angelina, and we'll see if there's any Q&A, if I can answer them. And thank you very much again for turning up.
Thanks so much, Noel. We do have a lot of information there for you to go through. And yes, please go ahead and type your questions in. Now also remember, we don't have all of the answers here to maybe some of your questions that you're going to ask about FreeGA and the new program or whatever. So we'll do our best to answer your questions. And you know, that's really important to note. And it's also important to note that even though we have line 7, that does not mean we are doing line 7 upgrades. It means we have line 7 so that we can facilitate some of the work that we need to do in preparation for announcing that line 7 is loaded and members will be doing the upgrades. So please pay attention to that, okay? As well as the wallets. Please do not do anything with downloading a new C wallet or AC wallet from anywhere until we've given you the direction, the specific direction, and we will. Okay, so that's very, those couple of points are very, very key so that we don't have more issues that we need to troubleshoot. Okay, so we do have a couple of questions. Thank you for acknowledging, yes, it's great information. Yes, we're really very excited about all the things that are happening. Okay, right off the bat, I can see, Andrew, I think I've addressed the question you have about line 7 and 8 and 9. Okay, they get rolled out when we have them, and we let you know specifically when those accounts are uploaded for people to go in for renewal of their accounts. I think I've answered your question. Okay, so Noel, I think you saw that there were a couple of questions before we asked people to, again, not type questions or comments while the webinar is going on because they will get lost. But we do have 2 comments and questions there to start just as you came on. One from Pedro and one from Alex. So I will hand the mic back over to you to start with Pedro. Thank you so much.
Okay, Pedro, can you put your comment in again? I'm just, I don't know whether it's, I'm starting off from where Tom is there, I'll just cover that, but if you put your question in again, please, Pedro, so I'm just running down the line. Tom, it's been said that the issues with line 6 are completed. Well, they're not, Tom, that's the whole thing. They're not completed yet. We have still got a few there to do, and so we will tick every box with line 6 before we put line 7 in. And anyone with any issues with what was happening was one of the main issues that people supplied us with their new accounts and gave us the same email address, and it threw it out because it was an email that was already in the e-commerce system. So whilst it wasn't in the NLA section, that was in the e-commerce, so it threw it out. So there was about, I think, 7 or 8 of those that the programmers had to deal with. But there's been a number of issues, and we just want to make sure they're all fixed. So they'll be fixed before we put line 7 in. And now that we've got the wallets completed, because it's been every day, and some of our team have been working a 20-hour day to get this completed. So now that that's on, their focus will go to fixing up NLA. Marlene, are we dependent on David's program being ready before line 7, 8 can get? No, it's nothing to do with that. That's an independent thing out there. Chuck's asked about the debit card. Well, we are looking. It's been approved. We're just seeing how and when we'll enter it into the system there, Chuck. So So we're not sure when that will happen, but we're hoping that it's going to be not long after we get going with the exchange properly. So I'll be discussing that with the bank, are the ones that control that part of it. So we'll talk with them about the debit card. Tim, I'm sorry for asking, but I came in late. If I understood Noel at the end correctly, the wallets will be available tomorrow. Did he also mention when he expects the exchange to open? So the term open, the exchange is open, and there's a few technical issues with it, but it is open. So I just want to clear that. I mean, we're having a new wallet put in there, and people have been able to trade in the exchange. So there's been withdrawals, so that part of it's all working, but we want the investors to start actioning some of the things out there, because once they start, a lot of other things will start to happen as well. But nevertheless, the wallets and the exchange will all be linked in together over the next 24 hours. Lisa, yeah, you need to log in for line 6, the gifted positions. Yeah, look, we'll be doing all of that. We'll get that information out to people. Any of the gifted positions we're putting in there, we are upgrading them anyway, so there's no need to worry on that. So we're looking after those positions, and so you'll receive your login on it. Well, actually, what will happen? I'm not sure what the programs are done, whether they set it on a standard login or whether when you get your email, it'll just be a forgot password, and your password will be sent to you. So if that's the case, but we'll inform you on what to do with that when we are clear on it. Tom, do the investors have the new wallets yet, or are we still waiting for them to make? Well, I'm the first one to get a wallet, Tom, and I don't have it. So the answer to that would be no. And they haven't made a purchase yet because they don't have the wallets. Yeah, can we directly use NLA coins with retailers without converting to fiat? Well, that's what we're looking at doing in there. You know, we're looking to have our retailers accept coins in their commerce, and I'm sure they will once they see how the coin's going up. The coin, with this increase now with the wallets, you'll see that there'll be another injection of funds going into the asset account. I don't officially know how much, but it's going to be quite substantial, and the coin will go up, and then when the investors' money shows up in their asset account, the coin will go up again. So I know we're getting close to the end of this month now, but I was expecting we'd see the coin very close to about $300. So certainly keep an eye on the exchange, because if you've got your coins too low, I mean, I know that there are people in there with coins listed at ridiculous prices, but you can only imagine that these people are no longer with us. They're probably have no idea of what's going on there with it, so they'll lose those coins when people start to buy them. Okay, Archie, hi Noel, are you able to provide a link to the new site you were discussing? I couldn't find anything, but I'm only guessing. Yeah, look, Archie, if you send request to, and Angelina, I'll post it in here, to support@smada.world, and we'll be issuing the links out from there. So as I said, I want to make sure that we keep the group tightly packed, and this is an enormous program. And I mean, look, my main thing to becoming involved with these programs, I'll tell you now, it's not the money. It's not the money that I personally can make. It's the involvement with their database, interaction with them. I mean, they're talking having 100 million members in the next couple of years. You can only imagine how quickly it'll grow after that. So being amongst that and doing a joint venture with them certainly strengthens what we're doing and pushes our coin value up, because we can actually list our coin. They do cryptocurrency in there as well. We can list our coins. Can you confirm where the promo accounts for the 10 coins NLA account will be placed, please? 10 coins. I think that was the line 9 accounts, I think, on that one, Arlene. So it'd be line 9. We've got those coming in. Look, because we've stopped registration, knowing what we have in place there, we're over 50,000 now. So when you see all the lines go in, there'll be 50,000. I do have a lot of people waiting to want to join in with some large groups and take additional accounts. So there's going to be quite an uptake once we open it up to the public. Well, same question as Archie, so obviously I must have answered that, Peter. So there you go. Okay, yeah. When we transfer duck into the debit card, will it be considered as fiat currency? When you transfer duck out of the exchange, it becomes US dollars. So yes, it's called digital unit currency within the exchange for legal reasons, and so once it comes out of there, it becomes US dollars. James, are you still planning a press release? Well, we are, and the banks are the ones that want to go ahead with that, so we will get the clearance from them. And as I mentioned before, that they're very interested in our magazine, because they will give us a lot of information on the humanitarian projects. And I hadn't made mention before, but I have in the past, as you well know, that we've been allocated $100 billion a year, and we'll be announcing every humanitarian project that we send a grant to, whatever the grant happens to be. So there'll be a lot of interest in that, and places like Frega, places like WebTalk, when we release this information in there, the only way that people can be involved in any grants through humanitarian is they've got to be members of Next Level Africa. So there'll be a lot of people wanting to join because of the huge grants that are going out. Registry, I see an article on PTC News that Criteria may have a platform where you can send and receive money to a person or a business account, top up PayPal, or send payment to friends and family. Yeah, well, that could vary. I'm not sure of all of that. There's just a lot of payment structures coming in. I'm not sure about that, about the Bitcoin news. Bitcoin news, sorry. So if that's on there, I'm sure it's correct. Okay, so my concern was with regards to Bitcoin network. It needs resolving, as since January very little has happened. I thought I covered that out there, Pedro, on the if you look in what's going on with them. I'm sure that to say that very little has happened, well, it certainly has. It hasn't necessarily been up. It's been down. So we are certainly keeping an eye on it, but I'm not prepared to bring members in until they get the site completely fixed up, and also there's a better return on the mining. You don't have to be Einstein to work that out. It's just not anything that we want to have the members coming in huge numbers in there just yet. So we will come back to it. We certainly will come back to it. But and one of the things out there, I have to mention this as well. we were placing a lot of members out there, and with your account you came in, and it took some weeks for you to actually action your account, and in that time we just don't have people sitting on with numbers on their back. So you did miss out on a fair bit of activity back in the early times because of just a slight delay on coming in. But that's, I'm not knocking that, I'm just adding to what you're saying there, that there's been quite a bit of activity happening. And if you read the news posts in the Big Club Network, I think that you'll find it explains it, and it explains it very well. Mary, is there a team link in Frega? Once again, what we're trying to do there, Mary, is we're trying to keep it tightly packed, and so it's just one of those things. I'll go into detail about it, because for some people that they will want to run their own with it, and some it's important that they understand it, but I'll go into that in further detail. But the most important thing now is to so that's where we are with it. Nigel, as you know, I speak about Nigel there over the time. Most of my jokes now come from Nigel being a drummer, but Nigel's saying, because he was the one that actually told me about Frega in the first place, and I say that with total respect. Nigel has a lot of contacts where he does get onto some extremely good programs, and I respect a lot of our members that do have an insight and can understand, you know, where I want to go with it as well, and he could see certainly this fitted in. But Nigel is saying that 1 billion members in the next 3 years through Frega, so that's what they're so enroll for now and receive funds even if you do nothing more. It is a banking ecosystem, a PayPal on steroids. As a member, you receive a distributed share of all the revenue earned from a growing library of applications, as well as increasing share of the wealth. So it's really, once again, as Nigel has pointed out there, just by simply joining and doing nothing, you will earn money from that. And so that's something I feel happy showing to members. I mean, you don't have to join it, but once again, it is a shopping reward program, and I'm sure that somebody is going to, if they're looking at 1 billion members in the next 3 years out there, then you can rest assured that it will start building momentum very, very shortly now. Okay, Yoda. So any funds we transfer into the debit card out of the exchange is taxable in Australia. Well, yes. Yeah, but you'll need to talk to an accountant. I'm not doing tax and advice on here. You'll need to talk to your own accountant and get that. So once the coin sells, is there a few to get duck out of? Is there a few to get duck out of the exchange? Oh, fee. Well, yes. That's how banks work. Because they're either putting it onto a card or transferring it to your bank. There'll be a fee, a minimum of transferring to a bank of $250, 250 duck. So there will be a fee on that. But I think that with the amount of coins members and will be able to sell, I mean, one coin is virtually heading towards that figure, and will be. So selling one coin, you'll have $250 there. I was asking about the line 6 bonus accounts. we've got probably 80% of them there. So once we do them, as I mentioned before, there, Margaret, we are upgrading those accounts. So there was a few issues that we had there with duplication of emails and stuff. So they're sorting that out. So I want to get the clearance from our technical team on line 6 so that we can give correct information on it. Alex, no, my computer earlier was just my comment. Sorry, earlier was just in regards to BCN losing my account and email login and money. I can't get through to support, so I'm assuming they just shut my account and I've lost all my money. Well, I don't think so, Alex. We have got no access to get into their accounts, so I should imagine they don't just shut up accounts. So I should imagine contacting them, but they should give you the answer on it. But we have got no access to go in there and rectify anything in the back office. So just send them a support ticket in, and we can assist. If you can't get help from them, we can go to another party and maybe assist from there, but we can't answer that question on your account. And so Free has many strands to the ecosystem. We'll need a separate webinar to explain. Exactly, James. Yeah, I can't even start to get onto Free now. It's just massive, and in saying that, there's the opportunities in there. No one has to really fully understand it if you don't want to, but certainly understanding it, because they'll be bringing out Free Mobile. And this is about a banking platform for people that the unbankables, people that really can't. In places like Africa, they go to a marketplace out there and they pull out their wallet, they're mugged and killed for their money sometimes. So having this application on the phone where they can't readily get to the cash is something that's one area. There's many things to consider, but nevertheless, it's certainly we are becoming a cashless society, so that might be something that we all want to carry our money on our mobile phone. Petra, is it possible official news on the NLA website how to put money directly into coin exchange or direct wallets? I can change a wallet address in my computer project. Any info? Well, we are going to be putting information on the NLA site, and we'll be putting out further information. Once we get the full details, we'll be able to put out information out there. But we'll be covering all of that. It's important to us to do it. So just remember this as well. I've had a few of our coup people been testing Free out before I wanted to release it to the masses out there. Maxine has just posted Free is very massive. Join and check out all the tabs. You will see a massive, and whether you want to just sit and do something, it's free. So I mean that's the whole important thing. It is free to join, and when you do join, you become part of the ecosystem, and you will share in the loyalty bonuses. Alex, no problem. I'll keep trying, but I need some assistance from someone because I know you're too busy now. But yeah, the support tickets link for BCN doesn't work on my computer or phone. Oh, okay. Well, that in itself seems strange. So it might be something your end there, Alex, that is causing the issue. So, but anyway, look, send something over to our general support at I even forget what it is, our normal support area out there, just keeping it away from the support at smada.world. So if Angelina is so kind to put a link in there for the general support out there, then and maybe you could send something there and we can chase something up. Yes, in Frege, they're going to be releasing a fairly decent library of how-to in the next week or so. So yeah, the general support, reply to South Africa Gmail. I knew it was something like that. You think I know it? Yeah, so look, Frege are adding stuff all the time there, and the most impressive part, I think, is that when it becomes time, and this might not be linked in there for another couple of months yet, PayPal will be there very shortly, that you'll be able to withdraw to your PayPal account. But the feature there that people will be able to put their bank account details in there, list their banking accounts from any country that supports it in the world, and I think there's 130 or 40 at the moment out there, and have the money transferred from their Frege account to their bank account with no charge. So that in itself is not a bad one. So we'll be looking to see what we can do with utilizing this system if we can. I don't want to speak prematurely on it, but we want to be able to see whether or not we can fit in with whatever they're doing. Look, it's gone to the top of the hour there now, and all I've been doing is updates and answering questions. So you can see why I didn't do a presentation. We'd be here till Christmas if I did that as well. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Angelina now. She might have some last minute things she wants to mention, and I do want to thank everybody for turning up. And once again, go ahead and send to support at smada.world a request for a link. You won't be disappointed in this incredible loyalty bonus. I mean, I'm a retailer of 50 years. I own supermarkets. I was on the Council of Management of Food Retailers Association. I was a director of an organisation operating 400 stores, 3 of them I owned myself. So I've been involved at a very high level in retailing, and this to me is one of the best loyalty programs I've ever seen. Okay, I'm handing it back to Angelina, and thanks again everybody for turning up. Bye for now.
Hi there. Thanks so much, Noel, for answering all of those questions, and thank you everyone for participating. Very quickly, Alex, before you send anything over to Reply to Next Level Africa, please go to bitclubnetwork.com, and click on Contact. And there is some windows that you can fill out some information there. Make sure you apply your proper email address that you used when you purchased the platform, and state your issue with your username and as much information as possible, and give them time to go through that contact form to get back to you, because that's just what we need to do. Okay, great. I'm glad you're acknowledging that. Thank you. And with that, everyone, thank you. I did post that link, as you saw, with Smada support at smada.world for a link to Frege, and have a look around. It's free. Look for new updates on the wallet link, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now, everyone. Have a great day wherever you are.